Imagine my surprise when the Crunchyroll app was down and I hopped over to Netflix looking for Gundam and found the October 2024 3D animated series Gundam Requiem for Vengeance, which at first I thought was a documentary about Motley Crue and Queen. Fearful that I would be the last Gunpla YouTuber to build this kit and review the show, I thought I'd build this kit and review the show. Oh, and my dear gun pals, mistakes were made. But first, let's take a closer look at the box. Notice this dent right here? Yeah, my Amazon driver did that, and I took it as a thinly veiled threat that if I kept ordering Zaku and other non-Federation models, I could expect more retribution in the form of poor package handling. Now, compared to the other high-grade models I've built, this one had a lot of panel lining opportunities. And since I was recently voted worst panel liner on YouTube by Gunpla blah 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 magazine, I took this as a chance to work on my skills. And I wanted to say thanks for all the great comments and tips left on my last panel lining disaster video. I'll let you be the judge later if I learned anything from them. I promise we are going to talk about Requiem for Vengeance, which is not a Motley Crue and Queen documentary, but is a truly genius Gundam show, and I'll tell you why. But first, let's talk about the model kit a little bit more. I'm new to Gunpla and model building, like really new, and I thought these were decals. Okay, they felt different than the normal stickers, all right? Also, this shot of these not decals falling into frame took like 90 attempts to get sort of right. But as I said, these are not decals, so PSA, don't soak them in water. What they are is a thin sticker-like thing that I found hard to work with and didn't look all that amazing, so I used them sparingly. I don't know what other YouTubers have said about this model kit, but I, for one, really liked it. For someone so new to Gunpla and having only done 3 other HG kits, I loved the detail, like the hoses and the aforementioned panel lining opportunities. The legs had a lot of color-separated parts, which I found delightful. More on that in a second. I'd call this kit an HG+, if they'd let me, but they won't, so I'll just call it great. I made 2 colossal mistakes on this model, other than soaking stickers in water. First, I placed this runner upside down, which caused it to look like it was runner C3 or C5 maybe, definitely not C2. So I ran around the house looking to see if the dog had run off with C2, about ready to drive to Netflix and complain in person that Reed Hastings had shorted me a runner, when I realized the frame was simply upside down and clearly read C2. Second colossal mistake, the hoses on the outside of the legs have to line up with specific hole patterns. So if you reverse the left and right leg panels like I did, even though they fit, you get to take them apart and do it again, which I did. Maybe I shouldn't do both legs at the same time, or maybe I shouldn't mix all the parts into a giant pile while filming this video. Hey, let's talk about the show finally while I finish this build. My kids watched some of an episode with me and made several references to the Polar Express. I told them that joke had already been made on Facebook and to leave the humor to the trained professionals or amateur Gunpla YouTubers. But yes, visually the series has the feel of a well above average video game cutscene. There are moments that look completely cinematic and others that feel like a Twitch streamer tried to make a movie. The general pattern was when there were robots fighting, it looked amazing. When people were traveling to locations and talking, slightly less amazing. The animation was mo-capped, which isn't a problem, but it didn't appear to be cleaned up thoroughly. Again, there were fantastic and engaging action scenes, and then there were also scenes where the hands were left completely unanimated, just karate chopping through the scene, and a scene where a guy is just sort of air guitaring his spoon while he eats some Gundam chili. So is this a good Gundam show? Yeah, you bet it is. In fact, it's a genius show, and here's why. First, it's a Gundam show, so that's a win right away. Second, the story is good, even if it should have been told in 4 episodes instead of 6. Requiem for Vengeance makes a comment about the cost of war on the young, both in terms of taking mothers and fathers away from kids, but also in taking kids away from themselves. It's a deep message, even if the animated emotions don't do it justice. But for me, the genius of the show is that each episode has 2 distinct parts that are almost like on and off switches. The Gundam fighting, the on switch, is fast-paced, fun, exciting, and the combat is serious and fun to watch. The talking parts, especially the traveling and talking parts, well, you don't really need to watch those, so you can just listen, which makes them perfect for building Gunpla 2. So it's a Gundam show perfect for building Gunpla. What more could you want? In summary, the creators have made a show that presents Gundam in a way we haven't seen before, using what is arguably the future of animated series of films, whether you like it or not. Maybe the budget didn't allow for tons of post-production and polish. Maybe the story was a bit linear and long, but it has what I'm calling a builder's rhythm. Scenes that you can just listen to while building, followed by a few minutes of all-out mecha mayhem. It's a nice balance that I really enjoyed, and I'd love to build another kit when and if another season comes out. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. And now maybe listen to this.
Crunchyroll is having an outage, so it's Gundam on Netflix and loudish. Earth Federation, Zeon's might, come catch the lights of war tonight. Netflix has Gundam, and it's more than home. Gundam, Netflix, we want, say Gundam. Gundam. Beam sabers clash in a fiery arc. Who lit this fuse in the endless dark? This ain't just dreaming for me or you, 'cause I'm stuck in the cockpit of a mobile suit. Netflix has Gundam, and it's more than home. Gundam, Netflix, we want, say Gundam. Gundam.